everybody. This is Marcus.
And Tricia.
And we are
the Messengers
Ministry. We're happy to be back with you on another Friday with a Bible lessons for today. And today we're going to be talking about
what you want most.
What you want most. All right. So it should be a song.
So what we want most is what we're going to get in many cases. Now, we're talking about things that you can possibly have. So we use the example of getting like $1 million a lot. We talk about that a lot. But, you know, there are like big ministries and things like that, people who need $1 million. And so they get that easily.
Right.
When we talk about that, we're talking about like ordinary people who who would more than likely not get something like that just because they asked for it.
Yeah.
Kind of like the people who are, you know, regular people who are like, I want a Lamborghini, you know, something like that. That's probably not going to happen in their case.
It's kind of funny because, you know, I used to ask people like that, and they'd always say, oh, if you give me $1 million, I'll, you know, is there anything I can do for you? I used to carry these little tracts around that were like bills. They were $1 million bills that had you know, the Word of God on it. So I'd say, "Oh, here you go." Kind of freaking about $1 million bill. So it just kind of broke the ice, right?
Yeah.
You know, but there are times that we have to ask ourselves what we want the most. This is usually what we tend to do or get. All right. So, for example, if we wanted to sit down and watch anime all day long.
Or any TV.
Or any
all
TV.
Along.
If we wanted that the most, then we would probably find a way to do that, right? Or Netflix. You know, some people just binge watch Netflix all day long. And that's what they most desire. However, if we like eating food the most, we would have to find a way by, you know, we'd have to have a job to be able to make money. Now, if we didn't like that job, you know, that would be something different. But we'd have to put things into perspective. Right, because you have to have money to do all these things. So you have to have everything in perspective for your wants and your needs.
That's right.
Make sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
So if you want it the most, like if you want to live in your house or have that couch to sit on,
or TV to watch, or
that's right. You're gonna need to do it, and the most ways that happens is by having a job or working. And so even if you don't like your job, not everybody's going to love their job. Right. I do, but not everybody else does. So you kind of have to still go through that in order to get what you want most.
Right.
Right?
There you go.
Now there are several examples of how people got what they wanted most, even if they went about it the wrong way.
So we're going to look at 3 different examples today, all right?
And this is from the Bible.
Right.
So we're going to talk about Sarah, Abraham, and Hagar. Now, what happened here is Abraham was promised by God to have children as numerous as the stars. But Sarah, his wife, couldn't have any kids. So it had been a while, you know, years went by, and she's like, I have a great idea. Why don't you sleep with my mistress, Hagar, and then when she has that baby, I'll raise it as my own, and that's how you'll get the kids.
Yeah.
Wrong thing. That did not work out well, but that's what she wanted most, was that child for him. But that was not the way to do it.
Right.
So you can read all about that in Genesis chapter 16.
So another one we're going to look at is David and Bathsheba. Now, David was supposed to be off at war. But he did not go this time. He stayed back at his palace, and one night he was strolling on the top of his roof in his palace, and guess what he saw? He saw this woman named Bathsheba, and guess what she was doing? She was completely naked, taking a bath. Now, at that point, that is what he truly wanted right then. So he sent for some people to go get her, and they brought her to him, and one thing led to another, and she became pregnant because he slept with her. Now, the only problem was Bathsheba was married to one of the men that was off at war, one of his soldiers.
That's right. Yeah.
So what he did was he sent for her husband to come back and to spend some time with his wife, hopefully to you know, sleep with her and make it look like he had impregnated her. However, her husband was not like that at all. He's like, oh, why should I be sleeping with my wife and eating with the king and doing all this stuff while the other guys are off fighting in his war? So he refused on several different occasions to be with his wife. So what the King David did was he said, okay, all right, go on back to war. But he sent him with a letter to everybody there saying, so when they opened it, they're like, hey, send this guy to the front line so that he dies first. So that's what happened. What he was sent to the front line and he died. Now, that was some crazy stuff back
horrible.
there. Right. And there's so much more to that story. So, if you want to read about it, you can start in 2 Samuel verse 11 and just keep going. Chapter 11. Chapter 11. That's it.
But yeah, I mean, these horrible things, happened. And they were like real people. When you read the Bible, read them as like real people who did real good things and really bad things.
Yes, as we'll see in this next one.
Yes. So there was King Ahab and his wife Jezebel with Naboth's vineyard. So let's go through this. So Ahab most wanted Naboth's vineyard at that time. So he went to him, he's like, okay, just sell it to me, I'll name your price, I'll give it to you. And Naboth's like, I'm not giving you my vineyard, it's been in my family for generations. And so Ahab went back and he was just like sullen and sulking, oh, he didn't get it. And Jezebel came in, she's like, what are you doing? And he's like, and so he told her, so she's like, I'll take care of it. So she went and sent a letter out and had Naboth killed. And then she came back to Ahab and said, go take the vineyard, it's yours.
There you go.
It's horrible. They were really bad people.
Yeah.
But you can read about that in 1 Kings chapter 21.
Not verse 21, but chapter 21.
Chapter 21.
So if we want to spend time with God more than anything else, you know what? We're going to find a way to do that. Now, there are moments in our lives that we can stop and put all of our focus on God. Mm-hmm. Now, whether it's 10 minutes or even 10 hours, when we want to spend time with God, we're going to figure out how to do that.
Yeah.
And he's probably going to clear our schedule, too, so that we'll have time to do that with him.
That's right. But be careful. I must say be careful sometimes when you ask for something, because God has an interesting way. I know some people that said, God, I want to spend more time with you. Well, they kind of ended up like losing their job or something to clear their schedule completely so that they could spend time with him. So just know that when you ask something, you may be a little more specific. So if you do lose something like that, God is always going to provide something better for you.
And he provided the other person something better, too.
That's right.
That lost their job.
Yes. So, just be specific in your prayers, but know that whatever happens, God has better plans for you.
Absolutely.
So, if we're putting God first in our lives, it's because we want him there the most. Mm-hmm. We may give up times that was otherwise spent on us, on our pleasures that we would enjoy, and we're going to have an example here, but such as watching a movie. Okay. Movies are not bad. We watch movies all the time.
Some of them are.
Okay, yeah. It's not bad to watch a movie. A good movie. But that time may be spent better by being with God than what we most desire at that time, which is kind of like our flesh.
Right.
So when we want to spend time with God, we need to realize that we need that the most, rather than just spending time on what we enjoy or what, like I said, our flesh or our minds think we want most at that time.
Or ourselves, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's wrap up today's video, okay? So do you ever find yourself doing something in your personal time that you know is a waste of time?
Yes.
Yes. Does that give you pleasure, or does it, make you want to do something better? So whatever you truly want most is what you're usually gonna prevail. Mm-hmm. So if you want to spend time with God, you can always find time to make that time, right?
That's right. Yeah.
So if you want to spend time on your own pleasures, you're going to do that as well. Mm-hmm. You must be willing to give up something in order to get what you most desire, though. Mm-hmm. So here's a question for you, all right? What do you want most from your life?
That's right.
Yep.
That's a question for us too. I mean, we're not just saying for you guys, what do you want most? Mm-hmm. It's like, what do we want most too? You kind of have to, at times in your life, just kind of stop and ask yourself that question.
Absolutely.
What do I want most? And it's not going to be the same answer every time because you're at different places in your life.
Yeah. So we really would like to hear what you most desire in life. So please don't forget to leave a comment down below and let us what you most want, or if you have any questions about what we talked about today, or questions about your reading from the Bible, don't forget the comments are always down below. Now, if you don't want to leave a comment down below and you want to reach out to us directly, you can do it a couple different ways. The first way is you can go to our website, and that's www.themessengersradio.com, or you can reach out to us directly on our email, which is
themessengersradio@gmail.com.
That's right. We check that every day, several times a day. So if you send us an email, we'll get back to you just as soon as we can. So we hope you guys all got something out of this. Did you want to say anything else?
Just be thinking about, like, I know the other night we watched something on Netflix, and it's like, it was so stupid. Like, afterwards, I just looked at Marcus, I'm like, that was a huge waste of time. So maybe if you start to do that and you get to the middle or something, you're like, okay, let me just stop and maybe spend time with God, or just think about God, or something like that. Think about something better.
Reevaluate our time, right?
Yes. So it's something easy like that, you know. It's not always these big, huge issues.
Right.
It can be just little every time, everyday decisions.
Yes. All right. So we love you guys. We hope you guys have a great morning, a great afternoon, or a great evening, however you may be watching us.
That's right. And if you're just listening, hopefully you got some of this information too.
Very good.
We love you guys.
Bye now.
Bye.